يا مصطفى كل شيء لله يا نورا من نور الله.
أهلا وسهلا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. It is اليوم 9/4/1447 هجري. It is the 9th of the 4th month, Rabiul Thani, 1447. It is Yawm al-Khamis. It is the 5th cycle going into Jumu'ah. And mashallah, tabarakallah, it is... Just 1 second. They're making a bit of a noise there. Guys, I'm just gonna live here. Maaf about that. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Mashallah, it is fasting. It's a puasa dag vir dag in ons lewe. En gaan maar 'n bietjie swaar as jy nie opgestaan het vir suhoor en tyd nie. But the idea about the fasting is not really about the eating process. You know, when you are younger and when you grow through this pain and eating processes, then there is always a what do you call it? They always give you an incentive, okay? But as you grow older, food does not become a necessity as what it was in your past lives, okay? When you were a child, when you were a teenager, and that, because your body needs to streamline now, okay, for data purposes. I'm explaining to you people how to transcend from the capture that you have been in for most of your lives in this earth, okay? So, mashallah, tabarakallah, this would resonate with the soul tribes that is from our mother's lands, okay? Because we are one soul family and our streams all meet up in one main river, okay? Mashallah, tabarakallah, today, with Allah's qudrat, it is also my mother's past. She's born on this day. It's her birthday today. She passed away, I think, 14 years ago. 14 years ago, yeah. And mashallah, may Allah grant her the peace of the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is also the Laylatul Jumu'ah evening. And inshallah, may Allah Ta'ala accept all the adkars and the hadata wat gemaak amal of inshallah. Today we are going to want to tackle the Nafs. Daar is 'n groot woord in ons community. Ons het gehoor baie hulle sê dat die persoon se nafs, hulle hou sy nafs en sy nafs is veel. Okay, sy nafs. Allah gebruik die woord nafs in die Quran. Until now, our mothers and our fathers cannot explain to us what is nafs. Okay, hulle self is confused with what is nafs. Persoon is 60 year oud, maar hy weet nie wat is nafs nie, but Allah het gepraat van nafs in die Quran. Okay. so minder kan ons 'n paas en ons 'n maas ook nie vir ons sê waar is wat is roeg nie. Okay? Nou dit raak 'n bietjie baie confusing as die mense vir ons sê glo, maar hulle self weet nie wat dit meen nie. Dan moet ons gaan na iemand wat is van 'n nog 'n land om te sê vir ons wat is roeg en wat is nafs. Maar hoekom het Allah dan nie vir ons daai information gegee nie? Unless iemand try om deliberately om vir ons dom te hou. Okay? Now, you see, these three things that Allah Ta'ala has created in the metamorphosis. The body, this body, okay? This is the jasad, okay? The jasad is the third dimension of a reality, okay? That is the illusional dimension of the experience, okay? In other words, don't get carried away. Don't become greedy. Don't become moet jy jou oë te stretchy, moenie kyk wat ander mense het nie. This is the illusional part of the journey, okay? And this is where most of people are unfortunately stuck and holding on to something which is fictional and which is it's a distraction, okay, from your growing patterns, right? Nothing exists in the physical. Okay, let me just give you the truth here. Okay, it's just a simulation from internally, right? But once you are not taking care of your body, your physical vessel, once you are diluted and once you have invaded it and you have imbalanced the masculine and feminine energy inside of it, okay? Once the anger overrides the peace, once the humility overtakes the ego, those kind of phenomena, the anxieties and the greed and the, just not just at peace. You can't find peace there, right? So that is a result of you having compromised your vessel, your physical vessel, because you got carried away, you got enslaved in the process, you got yourself captured. Okay, whichever elevator. Okay, sometimes when you go up there in the elevator, then you get stuck in the middle. Remember where you heard that last. You were stuck in the middle of the elevator. Okay. Now, when you have charge over your body, then the nafs, in actual fact, is the breath. Okay. Hulle het altyd gesê vir julle as iets in julle nafs. But die nafs is maar net jou breath. Without your breath is jy sak. Right? Now, the breath is a frequency, right? Subject to the level of your intellectual liberation. In other words, jy het nie gaan carried away raak in jou koppie, okay? You didn't get carried away with the amount of money that you saw, that you happened to pass by you, the houses, the cars, the women, the traveling. That did not affect your brains and it did not stuck in your brains, okay? You cleared it, you were pure, okay? Was nie baie mucus abu nie. Okay, vir dit om vas te stikkie, dat jy 'n ego kan gekry het en jou bos moet uitgestik het en begin te mense judges according to hulle classifications en hulle status, okay? Most of us are there, okay? Julle dink eers wat gaan die ander persoon dink van julle voor julle dink wat gaan Allah dink van julle, because julle het al verloor, julle is besig met ander god al klaar, okay? So that is where the nafs is regulated. The breath is regulated with a frequency. The breath is your frequency, okay? It's both modulated on your sound waves, okay? Now, like you have a nafsun, you have a low vibration. So when you're caught up in the physical third dimension, then you get carried away, okay? Now your nafs, which is your brains, it's modulated together. That is the fourth dimension. You don't witness it in the physical, you witness it in a fourth dimension in terms of your perception. Okay? You're not going to get this in schools, you're not going to get this in madrasas, you're not going to get this in the holy shrines, you're only going to get it today, and then Allah give you guidance, right? Then the third element is the ruh. So many of you have no idea what is ruh. Okay, you are living in a time where you're supposed to have cleared the vessel, cleared the nafs, okay, and had activated the ruh. By now, you should be living in the ruh. You don't live in the ruh when you're dead. You live in the ruh when you are conscious, when you reach your puberty levels, okay? That is where death does not exist, because you have cleared that illusion and that fear mongering and that guilt, okay, and the doubts. You have already cleared it up, and hence you can now ascend into the eternal realm, which we call roeg. Okay, now roeg is your liberational process of the heavenly journey. Okay, when you come across such a contour and crossroads, like most of us has gone and experienced in this moment in our lives, like to have seen that mothership come into our ports, okay, and we had the choice to board it. Allah is my witness. Wallahi, Allah is my witness. There was a ruh that came. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. But because your bodies and your minds have been so badly infiltrated and programmed, indoctrinated, been fighting wars and fighting with yourself, because you cannot come to terms with the fact that you have been you have lost yourself in the process, that you could not board the mothership. Okay, that is the ruh. The mothership is the ruh, people. If you see that ship coming, crossing the sea, you leave every damn thing in your life and you run, because that's not going to come back again. Okay. That's eternity, for your information. Okay. That is where all the Akashic records, everything that you needed to know, everything you needed to remember from the beginning until the end, until the beginning, until the start, everything is in that chambers. Okay. That's where you found life before coming into earth. Okay. That is where you will be in your band. That's why you will know the command stations, you will know who is the engineer, you will know who is the captain, you'll know everything you need to know, and you'll steer that boat and navigate it through whatever rough or quiet seas that holds that. Now, what is the ruh? Okay, the ruh knows everything. It holds everything about everything where you need to know. That's the ruh. Okay, the ruh qualifies you to go into the space beyond time, beyond your physical awareness. Okay, it takes you into there where you normally find yourself, like when you think you're dreaming. Okay, the visions are all there, the scrolls are all there, the chapters of the kitabs is all there. Everything is stored in that voltage, right? But your level of your capacity, your electricity, your light has to be phenomenally strong. You're not going to get there because of beliefs. Most of you have been denied to board that ship because of your beliefs, because your beliefs are redundant. Okay, you must be honest. I must be honest with all of us. Okay, I'm not in that boat. I just know I get the updates from the masters of the ages. Okay, now when you settle for that position you can't get there just because you ask for it. No, people, you got to go to the lowest to get to the highest. Okay, you have to go through the process, yani, fulfilling it, right? You wanted the highest form and then they put him on the low, and then you walk through, and as you walk through the process you purge. Okay, the old you, the old ego, the things that was appealing unto you has to fall. It has to be chipped away. Okay, because you're going here for a full yani for a full shift in your conscious. Okay, it's an altered state of conscious during your earthly period. You're purging in the earth, but you're in an isolated space, right? The heavens takes care of you. Okay, because you're their guest now. You are now the guest of Allah. That's Hajj. Not where you're paying. That's something else. That's in another world. Yeah, that's in another civilization that couldn't grow and find the boat, so they had to compromise and then hold that people in the lower deck. Okay. So most of you that has gone on Hajj, and this that I am unveiling unto you now is actually the Hajj. Okay, not that way you pay. That's just a ritual. It's just an experience, but you cannot leave your physical body because you did not come to harmonize the guilt, the doubt, the fear, and the magic spells that you had been living most of our lives. Okay, it's not like I always say, I don't know you, you don't know me, I will never see you, you will never see me. We are going into a metamorphosis where our physicality will no longer be our identity, and hence you are now in the digital age. That's why you're taking the digital. You feel each other on this on this order. Okay, this is like what we call Jannah, heaven in earth. Right? Everything is manifested in your presence here, people. There is no past, there is no tomorrow, there is only a now. So to fine tune yourself into that kind of perception, you're not gonna get there by just dying. No ways. Where you came across the fact that you're gonna die and go to Jannah, that's the biggest lie of your lives. Okay. You got to clear your doubts and your fears in order to open up your scrolls and then find the chapter that you are currently physiologically and psychologically steering through, because Allah has patterned your levels of your psychology. He understands what attracts you at a particular stage. Okay, the stories that you are seeing on the outside, most of us that are living in the dungeons of hell, of unconsciousness, because our physical vessels has been compromised with our nafs. Okay, um, this is a simulation that you are seeing on the outside because of the infatuations and the imbalances that has been between the feminine and the masculine, the brother and the sister, the husband and the wife, okay, the mother and the father. That imbalance and has caused you to swap the mother for the father and the father for the mother. Okay? Die man dra die vrou se rok en die vrou dra die man se broek. Okay? Um, that is why you were flipped, you were reversed. Yani, the psychology was reversed in your in your domains, right? This what we're telling is real. What we're telling people, it's just you have only a flipped version of a reality, but that is like that's the hell, that's the Jahannam when you are unable to access the motherboard. Okay, now when you're on the mothership, which is the Ruh al Qudus, that's the Ruh, yeah. That's where everything unfolds, everything that you need to know that is going to happen in the future, because there's no time there. The time doesn't exist in that construct. Okay, that is where the ruh is free. That is where you find Jannah. Okay, now you can find it in this realm that you are currently living. Like many are living there, but many of them are unaware that that is Jannah because of the belief system. Now, the next generations are actually now coming in with that mindset where they go every night and they know they're in Jannah. Qasam, Allah. They know where they come from. They know where their ruh is stationed because they live inside their ruhs. Okay, they don't live in their egos. And let me tell you also, they know that their parents are mushriks. They know that their parents have been caught in the lower density of a reality, which they are coming to help their parents. But because of their parents having to believe that the children are stupid and that they must educate the children, they have to eventually break away from that kind of any conflicts, right? But the rahmah of Allah, وَلَا تَكُمْ مِنَ الْقَانِتِينَ. You know, the when Ibrahim gets the visitation of the glad tidings of the new child, of the smart child, okay, he says, how could it happen when I cannot, I cannot manifest it, I cannot come to that level of perception. And Allah says to him, are you being ungrateful for the rahmah of Allah Ta'ala? Do you are you in Surah Al-Hijr, this is how we know that the child that is coming in now in our civilization, this child that is living in this ruh, Allah is bringing the ruh al-Qudus, okay? That's the ruh that is coming into the new age, because we live inside the ruh. We don't live outside the ruh. But when you are not clean, then you are caught up in your head, and that's where you are stuck. Okay? That's the information that you cannot you cannot challenge it, because you don't have sufficient data to resist it. Okay, the heavens is not sending you upgrades of higher intelligence so that you can look at the other perspectives of what is unfolding. Okay, so this is a procedure that wants you to love yourself deeply, people. Because you're going into the garden where the seeds that has been planted is planted on love. It's unlimited love, unconditional love. And when you have to put your mind to it, to believe that everything is only in the now, and nothing of your beliefs that you had believed in your past 100 years has ever been existing, except that you had brought it into your repetitive order, because you cannot bring the past back to life, but your beliefs activated it, and that kept you in that low vibration of keeping you in Jahannam and denying you to abort the march. Okay. Religion caused you to be denied access. Okay. We say this with knowledge, we say this with experience. Okay. It's only your duty to ensure that you bring the message and you make the balagh, you make the notification. It's not your duty to convince anybody in this world, because only Allah takes you to this dimension. There's no human being that can get there. What they know a Allama is, or what they know a president is. People, this is the ultimate to be. And you're not going to get here if you do not put in the work. Okay. The world wants these kind of, they're searching for the escape route. The world is searching for it, and that's why you'll find that the brain now is in shutdown. The American government is in shutdown. Okay, it's the 10th month now, the one and the zero, and that's the brain of the planet. He thinks for you. They think for you because you are occupied in their command station, right? So when you're in the ruh, you understand everything that is happening inside. Okay, everything you need to know is there. Everything that is happening on the outside, you are already updated. Like, why is that people not entering into a particular place? Because they were barred people. You can't, the Israel that you are looking for is the ruh, is the secrets of how for that Bani Israel to get into the Ruh al-Qudus. That is what they were trying to do. Okay? So as they try to pierce through and break through and go through land on fil barri wal bahri, they cannot get through because they were not given permission by the heavens. Okay, people. The simulation is inside because you didn't free yourself. You were not yet ready to get onto the mothership. Okay, that is taking us in conscious. Because you're only living conscious if you understand who you are. But when you are physically and politically and economically compromised in this journey of earth, then you have to pay for your sins and you have to serve your sentence in that self. Okay. Okay. So that this phase of your lives needs purifying. It's the natural process. After that, there is nothing after that because that is where the main engine room takes you into the different scrolls of the dimensions of life. Okay, but most important, you are steering on course now because you are in your natural vibrations. You are in your natural codes and patterns. Right. So this is basically where you need to be, unfortunately. And unfortunately, like in this last 7 years, many of us, regardless of their religion, has found this. Okay, and this did not come from a religion. It came because of wanting to search and find truth. Okay, that's the order of our, because we understand who we are, but we are compromised at a certain time because you're serving the needs of others and you're forfeiting your own call. Okay, so when you understand, like when COVID comes, that's a planetarian shift in your conscious. COVID is Corona is a planet. Okay, she shakes, she purifies. Okay, she doesn't come to bring fear, she comes to bring cleansing. That's the pureness of that exercise. It's a kokab, which we call in the Quran. Okay, if you are soul, you understand it. If you are a scientist, you will believe in the dunya because you cannot get into the akhirah. Okay, once you're in your ruh, then you are living in the akhirah. Okay, you are living in your altered state of consciousness. That is forever. That's eternal. Okay, there's no paying for sins because you're already faced up to your damages or whatever the case might be, your inconsistencies. Then there is nothing because then you are in communion with the love spirit of the oneness of the universe, of the mother energy, of the father energy, of the most high. Okay, that's it, guys. Don't you cannot speak. Not I didn't like. I'm not claiming anything here. It's just reading and understanding, and you keep secrets in this journey of life. When you are now here, you don't boast about things and hold yourself powerful. People, the power is only for Allah. But you are exercising in this world out there. You have been all the time making Allah cripple and making yourself powerful or human beings powerful. Okay, whether it's the Israeli government or whether it is whichever military forces, but it's because of the absence of you understanding what is divinity. Who are you? what is the roeg, what is the nafs, okay? And you are just caught up in the vessel. That is Jahannam. The vessel, when you are caught up in the vessel, that is when you become stuck, okay? And that is how your currency is exchanged, and you are now traded in a foreign, in a foreign currency, right? So most of you live in that world. Most of you are caught up in that um, that dooms reality. Okay, that in our world that is the Jahannam. So because we are in a idda period, people, we have to maintain our distance. We have to maintain our clairvoyance, because there's a lot of downloads coming into intelligence. People, we love knowledge. We the civilization in this age you're coming. We can love knowledge about the reality of how Allah shaped the human brain, the right and the left, and the Quran's the secrets that the Quran holds, like, because this we keep for our next generations. We have to teach this to them. Okay, so whatever we harvest on this journey as the last carriers of the blueprint, we record it, and then we give it, we feed it to our next generation, so that they make it for the seventh generation, so that they don't become far like most of us has lost direction and become mushriks, finding gods in other worlds, in other dimensions, and not within. Okay. وكذلك أوحينا إليك روحا من أمرنا ما كنت تدري ما الكتاب وما الإيمان. Okay? The phases that you have to go through is pure, because you have to purge from every lie that you thought was a truth. That is not easy. That is not easy, because the higher you ascend, the more fictional the reality of the physicality becomes, and then the definitions will now be altered. Okay, then you will remember what was meant by prophets, because you are no longer in your physical realm, you are now in your natural order. Okay, where the ruh is directing you, because all the commands comes from the ruh. Okay, that is where you will learn to understand who are your companions, your suhba. Okay, and that is where you will now understand purpose. Okay, why you were here, what happened to you while you were on earth, all those things gets revealed to you, and the people that crossed your path, and all these things gets uploaded onto your portals. Okay, you can't do something ignorantly in life. Okay, you must understand it, otherwise you're not going to go to the next stage. So most of us, we want a blanket what do you call this pardon, because we don't want to go into that dark alleys. It's that dark alleys that kept you still in Jahannam today. That's why you're stuck there where you are. Okay, you must clean that alleys. You must clean that shirk, the najas, okay, in order to get into the next stage. May Allah Allah Ta'ala grant us barakat, and see you for the khatak tonight, inshallah. Shukran, guys. Allah give barakat. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
يا مصطفى كل شيء